Hey guys, it's Fury91, and I'm giving you my review on episode 3 of the final season of The Walking Dead game. Now, episode 3s in general have been sort of a turning point for these series. I mean, you had Lily killing either Ben or Carly in season 1, Carver in season 2, the discovery of Joan's real intentions in A New Frontier. So needless to say, this episode had a lot to live up to. Fortunately, it did, for the most part. From start almost to finish, this episode was very enjoyable. Clem and the group embark on the mission to rescue the kids from Lily's group, and the whole thing feels actually pretty well done. I mean, they scout the place first, make plans, ask James for help, have one last little party before going, and this all makes the rescue scene all the more real. Speaking of the rescue scene, this is one of the highlights of the episode for me because this is a series that basically bases itself on storytelling and making your own decisions, but this action sequence just really stands out. I mean, you had to hide behind walkers to avoid getting shot, to hide behind crates, you had to swim, and the music just fits it so well. And unlike in the last episode, Lily's character to me, this actually was used much better. Though she still only has a slight role, but it makes a big impact. In fact, this episode to me had almost the whole package. It had the enjoyable story, the great action sequences, choices that actually felt like they mattered, such as with Lewis and Violet. Won't spoil that. In fact, to me, this episode almost had the whole package. There's even a moment that would work pretty well in VR. However, it's not without its faults. Despite all the good, there were a few things I found really bad with this episode. One big thing for me was the Lee dream sequence. They bring back the original voice actor for Lee, I'm pretty sure, and it's basically just fan service. It's not anything really too meaningful in the dream sequence itself. I was hoping that at least they'd be able to talk about Lily. You'd think that would make more sense, that, oh, we both know Lily, let's talk about Lily. Maybe talk about strategies, maybe talk about what to say. I just think that would have made more sense in the dream sequence than actually just talking about the stuff that didn't really matter. But I guess the developers really didn't want to go through another slideshow where they had us making choices that Lee made, because that's the only way for Lee to really answer those questions properly, because obviously Lee and Lily would have had a different relationship based on what your choices were in season 1. Another big problem with this episode was, for me, the saving Lily ending. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if you choose to tell AJ to lower the gun, then Lily will kill James. And that's not a bad ending in and of itself, but the way it happens was just terrible. I'm sorry, there was just like almost no excuse for it. I mean, why does James stand in front of AJ knowing Lily's behind him so long, waiting for AJ to pass him the gun? And why do Clementine nor 10 warn James, hey, she's coming at you with a knife? They probably were looking at James. I mean, the minute James gets stabbed, Clementine goes, oh, James, or something like that. So it doesn't make any lick of sense to me that Clementine or 10 wouldn't have gone, hey, James, she's coming behind you. I mean, the scene happens pretty long, and it seems like they would have had time to warn him. Plus, in general, the scene just seems a little lazily written, and which sucks because it's the ending of such a really good episode. But it just was like, oh, the minute you saw James step in front of AJ, you knew basically Lily's about to stab him. It was very predictable. It was kind of cliche, and at the same time, it just didn't make sense, because what happened? What were 10 and Clem just taking a nap or something? I'm sorry, it's just one of those scenes. It's like, oh, come on. My guess is they may have been rushing up the ending or something like that. Maybe they just did it like that way, because to me, someone in the writing thing would have seen like, yeah, this ending, it doesn't make all that much sense, and it's kinda just regular. But in any case, despite the ending, it didn't rule the episode as a whole for me. It was still pretty well done. This episode, in fact, to me, was probably the best episode as a whole since season 2, episode 3. Yep, it's been that long. And it kind of makes me wish that Skybound had taken over a little sooner. I give this episode a 9 out of 10. But anyway, what do you guys think about this episode? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and may God bless you all.